Well, that was hands down one of the wildest Red Wings games of the season, which is crazy to say because for the longest time, this felt very similar to Tuesday's loss against LA. Tight checking, not a whole lot of offense. When the Capitals scored to make it 3-1 late in the third, it felt like the game was over. I think the Red Wings had a total of 15 shots at the time. But then all hell would break loose in the final few minutes. But before we talk about that, let's talk about what happened earlier in the game. The big story heading into this one was obviously Patrick Kane being just 1 point away from passing Mike Modano for the most points all time by an American-born player. And it looked like he did it early on in this one as he made a beautiful cross-ice pass to set up DeBrincat for the power play goal, a connection that we have seen so many times throughout these guys' careers. So it definitely felt like a fitting way for Patrick Kane to make history, right? Wrong. This one was called back for offside, and I think the Red Wings knew it would be because everyone stayed on the bench for the celebration. So a pretty tough break for those two, but not to worry because the hockey gods would gift DeBrincat one back later in the game. So shortly after that goal was called back, Nick Dowd would score, giving the Capitals a 1-0 lead, and that really felt like an absolute gut punch and took the life out of the building. Thankfully, Kane would later get his moment around halfway through the second period, picking up a secondary assist on this absolute piss missile by Ben Sherratt. Pretty cool couple of days for him. He signs a 3-year extension and then in the very next game scores the goal that makes Patrick Kane the all-time leader in points by an American-born player. So congratulations to Patrick Kane. This was a really cool moment. The bench cleared to join him on the ice to celebrate. An octopus was thrown on the ice and Freebird was blaring through the speakers at LCA. Let's now jump to the third period, and at around the halfway mark, Dylan Strome would give the Capitals the 2-1 lead, and I actually didn't even see this goal live because the ESPN broadcast just went completely black here in Canada, and it wasn't just for a second, it was for like 5 minutes, so that was just great. The Red Wings did elect to challenge this one for goaltender interference, but the goal would ultimately stand, and then with a little over 5 minutes to go in the third, Declan Chisholm would get his first goal of the season as his point shot took a couple of bounces and beat Gibson, and like I said earlier, once this one went in, I felt like the game was over, given how the Red Wings had played up until this point in the game. But boy was I ever wrong. For the second straight game, DeBrincat would score with the goalie pulled to cut the lead to just 1, and then less than a minute later, with the goalie pulled once again, DeBrincat attempts to just rim the puck in, and it takes one of the craziest bounces you will ever see off of the little camera hole and banks off of Lindgren and in the net. Genuinely one of the most bizarre goals I have ever seen. The Capitals were absolutely furious as they thought the cameraman had the hole open and the puck deflected off of the camera itself. And they did take a look at this because if the Capitals were right and it actually deflected off of something that wasn't part of the playing surface, then this one could have been called back, but that was not the case. So the goal counted, and miraculously, the Red Wings managed to get themselves a point in this one. Unfortunately, that is all they would get though. Not a whole lot went on in overtime, and the Capitals would then go 3 for 3 in the shootout to take home the win. Tough performance by Gibson in the shootout there, but it's kind of hard to harp on him considering he is the biggest reason why the Red Wings currently find themselves firmly in a playoff spot. And this is the first time he has lost 2 consecutive starts in what feels like forever, so we gotta cut him some slack. It is gut check time now for the Red Wings though, as their next 2 games are against the Avalanche, who are going to be looking to bounce back in a big way after tough losses to Ottawa and Montreal. Detroit is going to need to put together a full 60-minute effort in both of those games to even stand a chance. No more of this waiting till there's 5 minutes left in the game to try and score. That's not going to work against Colorado. So that's pretty much all I got for this one. Very entertaining game, but obviously very unfortunate. Kane's history-making night came in a losing effort. As always, though, I want to know what you guys are thinking, especially if you're a fellow Red Wings fan like me. Sound off down below in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling, and if this was your first time checking out the channel and you want more Red Wings coverage just like this all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all again soon.